Welcome back, everyone, to another deep dive. Tonight, we are going to be talking about the absolute craziness that was Hellbound.
Oh, yeah.
Every title changed hands.
It was wild.
The rankings are all messed up.
Yeah.
And those post-match interviews,
Yeah. Yeah.
some people were not too happy.
Yeah. You don't see an event like that very often where the entire landscape of the company just gets flipped on its head.
Absolutely not.
And the implications from Hellbound are going to be felt for a long time.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
It was total shock and awe. But before we get into the drama and the fallout, let's recap the action for anyone who might have missed it.
Yeah.
So first up, we had the Women's Heritage Championship. Kelly Styles took on Marcella, and
That was a great match.
it really was.
It was as much about respect as it was about the title.
Absolutely.
Oh,
And,
oh.
Kelly Styles, in her post-match interview, she talked about how Marcella really elevated the prestige of that Heritage title.
Oh, for sure.
You could tell it was a hard-fought victory,
Yeah.
but Styles was ecstatic to reclaim that championship. Marcella, on the other hand, not so much. I hear she actually bolted from the arena before anyone could catch her for a comment,
Oh.
losing a title like that,
That's got to sting.
especially after holding it for so long.
Yeah.
It's got to be tough.
It's tough.
Then we had the United States Championship. LJ Hernandez finally reached the top of that mountain, defeating Sebastian Wolf
Yeah.
in what could only be described as a passing of the torch.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, the emotion in the arena that night was unbelievable. Hernandez was just overcome with joy, and Wolf, despite the loss, he almost seemed proud
He did.
to be handing that title over to someone so deserving.
Yeah, I mean, he even had some words of wisdom after the match.
He did.
Saying, hey, remember being a champion is even harder than becoming one?
Yeah.
It really felt like a mentor guiding a student rather than two rivals.
It really did, and I'm really curious to see how their paths continue to intertwine in the future.
Yeah.
Now, the United States Championship contendership match was a chaotic, fatal four-way. We had DJ Yamashita, Mike Hudson, Isaiah Price, and Tucker Reeves.
Talk about a mixed bag of emotions after that one.
Oh, tell me about it.
Yamashita, ecstatic, finally getting his due after feeling overlooked for so long.
Yeah.
Price, surprisingly gracious in defeat.
Yeah.
Hudson seemed to dismiss Yamashita's victory as pure luck.
Yeah.
And Reeves, well, he just looked laser focused on eventually claiming that U.S. championship.
Absolutely. And speaking of focus, we saw Amaya straight up declare herself the best in the women's division after winning the Women's Heritage Championship contendership
She did.
against Lily Sunshine and Christy Owens.
Yeah.
And that's a bold statement, especially considering who she'll be facing for the title.
Yeah, Amaya's confidence is sky high.
Oh, yeah.
But she's going to have to back it up against a veteran like Kelly Styles.
Absolutely.
Owens was visibly frustrated after the match.
Yeah.
She's made it clear that she wants a one-on-one opportunity
Yeah.
to prove herself, and I wouldn't want to be standing in her way when she gets it.
No kidding.
Yeah.
It's interesting you bring up Owens' frustration because it seems like a lot of wrestlers at Hellbound were carrying some serious baggage into their matches.
Yeah.
And I don't think anyone had more riding on the line than the Women's World Championship match.
Right.
Brittany Ali walked away with the title,
Yeah.
but that match
Brutal.
was brutal.
Yeah, we're still waiting for updates on Sarah Kay, who is rushed to the hospital.
Yeah, I'm really hoping she's okay.
Ali's win was impressive, but at what cost,
Right.
Sending your opponent to the hospital is never something to celebrate.
No.
And it raises some questions about the long-term consequences of her aggressive style.
For sure. And the brutality continued in the main event, where Eddie Butcher dethroned King
Yeah.
in a match that left both men just battered and bruised.
Yeah.
This was King's first loss since the Gauntlet,
I know.
and Butcher paid a heavy price for that victory.
She did.
Fractured wrist,
Ooh.
7 stitches,
Mm-hmm.
and bruised ribs.
Oh.
That match was a war of attrition. Both men pushing their bodies to the absolute limit. But, Butcher's willingness to fight through those injuries, it was just incredible.
Yeah, it speaks volumes about his determination to become champion.
Absolutely. And King, though he wasn't his usual dominant self,
No.
you could see the frustration and the disbelief on his face as the match was slipping away.
Oh, yeah.
And he's vowed to reclaim that title. And knowing King, that's not an idle threat.
Not at all.
This is just the beginning of what promises to be an epic rivalry.
Oh, yeah.
So we've got all these new champions,
We do.
a lot of injured bodies, and a whole lot of unanswered questions.
Yeah. What did you think about the post-match interviews?
Honestly, The intensity of the emotions,
Yeah.
both positive and negative.
It was palpable.
It was palpable. You could tell that Hellbound was more than just an event.
It was.
It was a turning point
Yeah.
in the careers of so many of these wrestlers.
Pretty sure.
And with End of the Line right around the corner, I think we're going to see the fallout from Hellbound play out in some very interesting ways.
It's going to be interesting.
It's going to be good.
Can't wait. Yeah, it feels like the entire RCW is holding its breath,
I know.
just waiting to see what happens next.
Right.
Hellbound was explosive,
Oh, yeah.
but the real fallout, I think, is going to happen at End of the Line.
It's like everyone's walking around with a target on their back.
Oh, yeah.
The stakes have never been higher.
Let's start with the Men's World Championship.
Okay.
King versus Butcher, round 2.
Oh, man.
This time, it's not just about the title, it's about pride redemption
Right.
and proving who the true alpha male of RCW is.
You know, King is known for that brutal take-no-prisoners style.
Oh, yeah,
He dominated the RCW for months after winning the gauntlet.
he did.
But can that same approach work against Butcher?
Right.
A guy who just proved he's willing to endure excruciating pain to achieve his goals.
That's the big question, isn't it?
Yeah.
King might underestimate Butcher's resilience.
He might.
And Butcher showed incredible heart at Hellbound.
He did.
He's not just a brawler, he's a strategist, a survivor.
Right.
He's going to have to outsmart King, use King's aggression against him.
I have a feeling Butcher's going to be studying that Hellbound match,
Oh, yeah.
trying to find any weakness he can exploit.
Absolutely.
What about the U.S. Championship?
Ooh.
DJ Yamashita's finally getting his shot after years of feeling overlooked.
Right.
He's facing LJ Hernandez,
Yes.
who's riding high after that emotional win over Sebastian Wolf.
It's the hungry underdog versus the champion on the rise.
Okay.
Yamashita has a chip on his shoulder the size of Texas,
Oh, yeah.
but Hernandez has the momentum,
Yeah.
the crowd support,
Right.
maybe even some sage advice from Wolf himself.
You know, I am so fascinated by that dynamic between Hernandez and Wolf.
It's great.
You can see the mutual respect there.
Oh, yeah.
It's almost like a literal passing of the torch.
Exactly. And I think that mentorship
Yeah.
could give Hernandez a psychological edge.
Yes.
He knows he has the backing of a former champion,
Yeah.
but Yamashita's hunger, that burning desire to prove himself.
That can be a powerful weapon.
Let's not forget the Women's Heritage Championship.
Right.
Amaya boldly declared herself the best in the division,
Oh, yeah, she did.
and she's going up against the newly crowned champion, Kelly Styles.
I mean, Amaya's confidence is impressive,
It is.
but experience matters,
It does.
especially in a high-pressure situation like this.
Yeah.
Styles has been to the top of the mountain and back.
Right.
She knows what it takes to win,
Right.
to defend a title.
Yeah.
But Amaya's raw talent and unpredictable style
Right.
could be a real challenge for Styles.
It's almost like a clash of generations.
Yeah.
The up-and-comer trying to make her mark
Right.
versus the seasoned veteran trying to hold on to her legacy.
Yeah, and outside of the championship matches, we have so many other intriguing storylines bubbling beneath the surface.
Oh, yeah, we do.
Christy Owens is demanding a one-on-one opportunity,
She is.
and she's not afraid to call out anyone who stands in her way.
I wouldn't want to be on the receiving end of her wrath.
We still don't know when Sarah Kay will be back
Yeah.
or what the extent of her injuries are.
Hopefully she'll be all right.
I hope so. And then there's Lily Sunshine.
Oh, yeah.
Her playful, almost whimsical approach to wrestling
I know.
seems to be at odds with the increasingly dark and intense tone of RCW.
Yeah, it's almost like she represents a different era of RCW.
Right.
The time when things were a little less serious,
Yeah,
a little more lighthearted.
right.
But I wonder, can that kind of optimism survive in the current climate?
I don't know.
Yeah.
End of the Line is going to be explosive.
Oh, it is.
I can't wait to see how all of these stories continue to unfold.
It feels like we're on the precipice of a new era in RCW.
It does.
An era defined by intense competition, shifting alliances,
Yeah.
and a hunger for dominance.
So let's talk predictions.
Ooh.
Who do you see walking out of End of the Line with their hands raised in victory?
Okay.
And what are your wildest predictions for the future of RCW?
I think King is going to come back with a vengeance. But I have a feeling Butcher might just have his number.
Interesting.
As for Hernandez, I think his reign as U.S. champion is just beginning.
Okay.
He has the talent, the drive, and the support to become a dominant force in RCW.
Right.
The Women's Heritage Championship is a tougher call.
Yeah.
Styles has the experience, but Amaya has that raw hunger that can't be underestimated.
I agree that Women's Heritage Championship match is a toss-up.
Yeah.
It all depends on who can control the pace and dictate the terms of the match.
Right.
As for the bigger picture, I think we're going to see a lot of new faces rise to prominence in the coming months.
Oh, yeah.
Hellbound was a wake-up call, a signal that the old guard is vulnerable.
Absolutely. And I think we're going to see the lines between good and evil
Uh-huh.
become increasingly blurred. The
Interesting.
alliances will shift, betrayals will happen, and the very foundation of RCW will be tested.
I can't wait to see it. It's fascinating how RCW weaves these long-term storylines.
Oh, yeah.
They all culminate in these events like Hellbound. And it's not just about the matches themselves.
Right.
It's about the build-up, the anticipation, the payoff.
They're playing the long game for sure.
Yeah,
And it's paying off.
it is.
I mean, think about King's rise to dominance after the Gauntlet.
Oh, yeah.
Unstoppable force of nature.
He was.
And that made his downfall at Hellbound that much more shocking.
It's like a classic Greek tragedy.
It is.
The hero brought low by his own hubris.
Yeah, and now we're seeing the ripple effects of that downfall.
Right.
Other wrestlers sensing an opportunity,
Yeah.
a chance to seize the throne.
Like DJ Yamashita.
Yes.
He's been waiting in the wings for years.
Right.
Finally getting his shot.
Yeah.
And Amaya, with her fearless confidence, declaring herself the best.
Yeah, these are characters that have been developing in the background,
Right.
and now they're ready to take center stage.
And that's what keeps us coming back for more. Right?
That's it.
It's not just about the athleticism.
Right.
It's about the drama, the characters,
Yeah.
the evolution of the RCW universe.
It's like a soap opera with body slams.
Exactly.
Right.
But seriously, there's a real art to building a compelling narrative in professional wrestling.
Oh, yeah.
And RCW has consistently delivered.
They have.
And it's not just about the winners and losers.
No, it's about the motivations, the alliances, the betrayals,
Right.
the human drama that unfolds both inside and outside the ring.
We saw that human drama play out in so many ways in Hellbound.
We did.
Friendships were tested, rivalries ignited,
Yeah.
and there were some surprising acts of respect.
Like Sebastian Wolf.
Yeah.
Mentoring LJ Hernandez.
That moment between Wolf and Hernandez really stood out to me.
Oh, yeah.
Even in defeat, there was a sense of camaraderie,
Right.
a passing of the torch to the next generation.
It showed a depth of character
Yeah.
that you don't always see in professional wrestling.
So as we wrap up this deep dive into RCW Hellbound, I have to ask, what does this all mean for the future of RCW?
Ooh, that's the million-dollar question.
It is.
The landscape has shifted. The power dynamics are in flux. We have a new generation of champions ready to make their mark,
Yes.
and established veterans determined to reclaim their glory.
It's a recipe for chaos,
It is.
excitement, and unpredictability.
Exactly. And that's the beauty of it.
It is.
We can speculate, we can analyze,
Yeah.
but ultimately we have to wait and see how it all unfolds.
So to all of you fellow RCW fanatics out there, we want to hear from you.
Yeah.
Who do you think will be holding the RCW championships at the end of the year?
Yeah. What storylines are you most excited to see develop?
Let's keep the conversation going. Share your predictions, your hot takes, your wildest theories.
Yes.
We're all part of this RCW universe, and we can't wait to see what the future holds.
We can't wait.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into the fallout from Hellbound. Until next time, stay tuned for more thrilling action in the world of RCW.